Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well and having a wonderful day. My name is Emmanuel Okafo, and in this video, which will not be my typical tutorial, but it will just be more of a diary because I'm currently working on a project for my thesis, basically creating a game that kind of teaches people about the importance of little things you need to bear in mind because of the whole COVID-19 stuff. So it's kind of more of an educational game video. And I actually didn't know that because before in the 2.7 builds we had the Blender game engine. So after the 2.9 releases it was cut off, but I was unaware that behind the scene the game engine was still developed and it works with Eevee, which is more awesome, and that's what you're seeing here. So I decided to use this rather than commercial applications like Unity or Unreal because I'm already comfortable in Blender, so why check out something else? Especially since this is not going to be like a project I'm going to put on the Play Store or give so much people to play with. And so far it has been doing the job well, so I'll just play the game right now. But just to play faster, I am going to make it viewport play. So I'll make all of this. Okay, let's play. So you know the drill, you hit P. And this is how it starts. So basically my goal for this video is I'll show you guys in a bit. So once she enters the store, she has the ability to start picking up content. So all of these are shaded and is able to be rendered in Eevee. I just want to preview it in this material just to have fast playback. But her basic mission is to go around picking up items and make sure that none of the red boxes touches her. So like I said, the goal in this video is to replace the red boxes with actual people. So that's what I will be doing in this video. So to help with that, I don't plan to like model everything from scratch. I want to make this as fast as possible. And to do that, I will go ahead. I've created a character prior to this video in Make Human, and I'm just going to import it right here in Blender. So where do I have that saved? Stars. Okay, so this is the model. Let it come in and we can preview it because it's supposed to load with its textures. Not perfectly though, so we'll see. But the most important thing is to just have this rigged and have quick animation applied onto it. And the application that will make that quite possible for me is the Pupa Addon. So I don't know if you're familiar with Pupa Addon. It's something I created that I've promoted a lot in this channel. But it's quite helpful, honestly. It really speeds up the entire process. So I will just join all these objects into one mesh because it's not really important, but I'm doing it because just to simplify things, I already have lots of objects in the game. I don't want to have more objects, so that's why I'm just combining it. And I will fix these materials later. Okay, so I'm just going to select everything and go to Object, Apply, Location and Scale, and also Origin to Geometry. So have it clean and dandy. Next, I will go to Pupa Addon. Hit Assign Object. I'll call this Crowd because my goal is to customize this. So from this one character, I want to be able to create female, short people, tall people, and stuff like that. I also don't want to use the fingers because it's not really necessary. Basically, the animation I'll be having is it's walking or running, and that's that. Also, I'm going to enable the snapping to make it easy for me to kind of place this point, and also going to set this to volume. So just grab each of these points, place it using this character here as a reference to place it. Basically, when I was creating this, my goal was to just because I have worked with Mixamo for the longest time, and as much as the workflow is quite simple, I wanted something in Blender like it a bit robust than what you just get from Mixamo, because once you leave Mixamo, you have to go back again and redo certain things, and I didn't want to do that, so I created a tool for that. And you can get this tool. It's on the Blender market. The price is relatively acceptable for the functionality you'll be getting for with it, and it also comes with a lot of asset animation. Okay, so once you've placed this point, which is quite fast, you go to binding. So I want to preview the rig to kind of see how it looks before I go ahead and bind it. So we can see that this is not placed properly. So I'll do Shift S, cursor selected to cursor, and yeah. So we probably don't need the boobs bone, so I'm just gonna delete that. And let's adjust this slightly. Make sure this is all placed nicely. Okay, I think we're good. Because it's selected. We'll move this in. So this particular section of the add-on allows you, like in a situation where you have asymmetric characters, you can even go in here and turn off the symmetry and just rearrange this to match your characters. It's quite helpful. So once you're done with that, you can select this particular meta rig bone and go to bind, uncheck this and binding type. So you can choose automatic weight, which is the default stuff you get with Blender, or you could select voxel, which is kind of there are other ways that this has been implemented in different packages and add-ons, but basically this allows you to bind entire object assets very efficiently. So if you have complex appendages in your character, it kind of binds it, but it takes longer than the automatic weight. But funny enough, with the Blender 3.0 versions, which is basically what I'm using for my production, you tend to see a lot of speed up with all the new optimization. So compared to the previous version, which is the main reason why I'm kind of creating it in this version of Blender, it's quite faster to kind of calculate this. So I'm going to set it to 0.02. So to get more details, basically, I mean, it's not really necessary. I could also work with 0.06 to get the same detail because we don't even have the fingers. So we'll let it do its thing, and it's quite fast. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So we'll just kind of wait. If it starts taking longer, I'll just pause the video and come back. Which is looking like that's what I'm going to have to do. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna pause the video and come back once it's done. So it's done now, and funny thing, the second I clicked on pause video, it was done. So we can see we have it, and this is it working. So you have your full Rigify rig and everything that comes with it. Next, I want to turn off the stretching because currently this has stretching, and I just turn it off so it doesn't stretch, so it's more realistic. And then, I mean, that process is not necessary, it's just a personal preference. Now I want to add a work animation, so I'll go ahead and search for work. So you could either do all categories and search through all the categories present, or you can go into the subcategories like locomotion and search for work. So we have one here. So you can either apply it in object mode with the rig selected or in pose mode. So I will hit apply animation. And then we have our work. So I mean, this is great, but for games, you basically want it to stand in a position and just keep looping. So that's what we will do. So I will check on stay in place, which is basically going to tell it once it applies the animation should not move. So once you check on that, I will hit apply animation. It's going to reapply the animation, but this time it's going to stay in place. You also have the ability to add more animations on top of this. We could quickly preview that. So let's see this. So it's going to also stay in place and apply a new animation. So it tends to apply the animation after the last frame. Is going to give one space, just allow for smooth blending, and then it's going to apply the next animation. Depending on how long the animation is, it's going to take time. So we can see audio animated here selected is basically what's applied. So you can move this as you want, just to kind of get nice timing. So you can even add your own in between. So move this to just make it okay. So at this point it's looking good, but I want these hands not to be spread apart too much, so I'm going to move it in. So if you're installing the Pupa add-on, you also have access to this Vfx add-on, so it's quite helpful too. So we can go to edit action, local edits, and start editing. So I'm just going to move it in slightly. So I want to select the two bones I made the changes and click on rotation. So what it does is going to make that just retain that particular motion, and we have our loop animation. Okay, so I'm happy with it, and this is basically what I'm going to have to bring it into the game engine. I mean, working is okay. I was kind of caught up in thinking of, do I want it to run or do I want it to work? These are things that having a tool like this gives to you, as it kind of speeds up the entire process. So I'm going to call this crowd work. Okay, save that, hit the save icon, and that's that. Next, I will just go ahead and import it into the game engine. Excuse me. So let's do that. I'll save this back here. I'll make sure I'm in the scene collection, and I will go ahead and append it. So this is the collection we need. Click on that. I'm just gonna isolate it for a bit because it comes with extra objects which we don't want. So I'm just gonna hide the main rig, and I can delete this. No. Let's see. Where's our rig? For some reason it didn't bring the rig in. See, okay. So this is the rig, and we'll just move it away. Okay, so clean that up. Now save it in the scene, and that should be that. So if you want to see the game engine, how it works, I'll quickly show you. I'll set up like a looping for this character. So rotate. So I'll clear all of these, and I have to remember this, but I'll just switch this to logic brick. So I want to add an always sense. So basically every time I run the game, this character should always be walking. Also, I want to add an action and tell it to look for crowd walking. Okay, and then I am going to put the frame range, so it starts from frame 1 to frame 36, so they end at 36 and start at frame 1. Also, I want it to play, just keep looping to end, so it just keeps going, and that's basically that. So I can actually delete this now or remove that, because it's still in Blender. And let's run this game and see how it looks. So it's basically going to keep looping to the end of the game. Okay, I will scale this to match the scene. Basically, this is going to be the parents because I've already set this up earlier. For the physics for all of this, I'm going to make them ghosts because we don't want them to interact anything. And this is going to be parented to this. Okay, so this is going to be parented to this. So that will be it for this tutorial. I plan to kind of share the preview with you guys once it's done. I'll figure out what is happening. And yeah, so bye bye for now. See you next time.